And now let's move on to the Poco X2. Now, expectation was Poco came out about what, a year or sometime back with the F1. Now, that was a seriously high-spec phone, gaming phone, many different ways that they actually did attribute features to that phone, but everything was top of the line and the price was very aggressive. So people thought the F2 is the one that's going to come out. Poco will make a re-entry. Poco comes in as an independent company now, not necessarily under Xiaomi. So it's all dramatically changed. But I think the way they wanted to approach the Indian market is now dramatically different also, because the X2 is nothing like the F1. It's a completely different phone. Yes, it has some great features like, for instance, the 120 Hz screen is a complete game changer. But in other ways, this is not a top of the line, super specced out phone. Yes, the camera is very interesting in this. Yes, it's got multiple cameras. The number of cameras is actually quite astounding. Yes, they're still very aggressive with price. But this is not a top of the line 845, 855 Snapdragon phone. They've gone with a mid-level processor and many other things also. So what's the market strategy? How are they going about it? Is this competition for Realme? Why are they taking on Realme in the market, especially with this brand? Lots of questions, lots of answers.
When someone hits a ball out of the park in their first attempt, people remember. That's exactly the case with Poco. When the Xiaomi sub-brand launched the F1 in the market in 2018, it was a league apart. Poco stood for a flagship value for money phone and got it right, leaving the people in awe of it. Now Poco returns more than a year later, still expecting to stir up the smartphone market, and this time without Xiaomi support. But can it achieve that with the Poco X2? We are about to find out. The Poco X2 borrows its design from the Xiaomi Redmi K30, which according to us isn't a bad thing. It looks premium in the first look, and with the shiny bling bag it manages to catch a lot of attention. However, because it has Gorilla Glass 5 on the front and the back, it ain't light to hold and neither is it thin. The fingerprint scanner is nestled on the right of the phone, which is quick, one of the fastest we have used to unlock the phone. There is a 3.5mm headphone jack on board. The front is all about the screen. It's a massive 6.67-inch LCD screen with, wait for it, a 120Hz refresh rate. It's amazing to have a 120Hz refresh rate in a mid-budget phone.
If you are playing high performance games, a 120 Hz display makes a lot of difference. It just is a lot more smoother. You can react faster, and if the opponent is in front of you, you can just respond faster, right? But not just the gaming, even the day-to-day usage. Just scroll the phone, and it kind of is so smooth. Either when you're using an InShots app or probably Instagram, it just is very fast and very reactive and a lot more smoother to use. So one of the problems is the battery usage. The way we did was through software optimization. So what we actually did was we actually utilized software to toggle between 60 and 120 Hz.
Sure, gamers appreciate faster refresh rate, but even in normal usage, we notice the smoothness. We were not particularly taken by the LCD screen, as by now we are used to OLEDs in this segment, and we did miss the saturation levels and the brightness of an OLED. There is no notch, no pop-up on this one. The dual front camera is placed on the top right side of the display. There are two circles hosting the in-screen camera. The front camera is a combination of 20 megapixel plus 2 megapixel, the 2 megapixel being the depth sensor. The selfies do come out with details, and even the bokeh is pretty decent on this one. The back holds the circle of the rear cameras. There are 4 lenses, a 64 megapixel main sensor, an 8 megapixel ultra-wide camera, a 2 megapixel macro lens, and a 2 megapixel depth sensor. The camera can do everything well, be it a normal photo, an ultra-wide shot, a macro, or a bokeh. There are times when it loses on details, but most of the times the results are satisfying. The low light condition is pretty decent on this one. The charm of Poco was that with the F1 it gave the flagship processor in the phone. It isn't the case with the X2. This newbie runs on Snapdragon 730G, which isn't sluggish by any means, but it isn't a flagship processor we expected from Poco. We got the 8GB to 56GB variant, and we faced no issue with the performance of the phone whatsoever. The Poco X2 runs on MIUI 11 on top of Android 10. There is bloatware on the phone, which we don't like, but it's good for MIUI fans. There is a 4500 mAh battery on board, which comes along with a 27-watt fast charger. The phone did last us a day with single charge. The 6GB 64GB variant of the Poco X2 is priced at 15,999 rupees, while the 6GB 128GB variant is priced at 16,999 rupees. And the 8GB plus 256GB variant, which we have, is priced at 19,999 rupees. The Cell Guru verdict. Like we say for the movies, the Return of Poco did not do justice to its prequel. We were in awe of the F1, we can't say the same for the X2. But that said, by no means the Poco X2 isn't a good phone. It is, it really is. Just that it lacks that extra punch needed for the smartphone market today.